Hey guys, it's your girl Miss Real. I was just here minding my own business, watching other people's business. What are we gonna do about these pedos out here snatching kids off the street, making kids so shook that they can't even use their voice to scream out or physically kick and scratch and stuff. Turn your key into a weapon, stab man in his eye, you get me? Kick people in their nuts. Yeah, we need to train our daughters and our kids to be able to do these things because the streets ain't safe. So this dude was snatching kids in Mitcham, and this lady saw something and it didn't look right, and she intervened, which is what the BBC should have done when it came to Jimmy Savile, Gary Glitter, and Ralph Harris. Yeah. So many people, and not one person intervened. And this 11-year-old was lucky that this woman intervened, that one woman intervened. I want to know, why is it so different when the pedo is rich that everybody's willing to look the other way? Why? When the person's popular, when they're rich and they're popping, well, everybody look the other way and let them abuse children. Either way and all, none of it is right, and I don't like it. It's got to stop. So I was thinking, what are we going to do about these pedos? And when we post pictures of our children, are we low-key giving them a little something to see, something to little get excited to? What can you do to safeguard 11-year-olds coming back from school?
I think the sad thing is that we have to try to safeguard the children and not make those people feel like what they're doing is completely wrong. I think naturally the mentality of making little girls feel like they have to be in charge of not letting those situations happen is already the wrong mentality. I think we should be trying to let boys, young men, and people my age know that doing those kind of things is wrong, and you will be rushed and you will be dealt with.
In the streets, I understood people was trying to look for a man's address so they could go to his house and finish him there and then, and he was lucky that the police came for him before the streets got to him. But even that don't matter, because even in jail, in prison, in the cell, wherever they put him, them other people don't respect that kind of behaviour unless they put him in a special unit where all the pedos get to go and sit. This is the problem that you're highlighting, that there's special treatment for these people. And I'm just saying that there's people that actually cover up for them. I believe that the pedos are in a great big cult. I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like they got websites, they've got rich people, they've got investment, they've got lawyers, they've got all people. They're in such a great big thing that they get more protection than the victim. No one does nothing about the victim. That's why I asked you, what do you think can be done for the victim?
I don't think a lot could be done because a lot of times people don't believe the victim. Sometimes too, the whole way that girls have been brought up is to modify ourselves, wear revealing clothes because men will look at you if you do, wear longer skirts, don't, be wearing certain stuff.
So we're sexualized.
Outside. So already, yeah, and we almost accept the stereotype of that by telling girls to not do that, because it's like saying,
I think it's broader than that. They even there's pedos that like little boys or little girls, so it's almost not so much a hetero thing. It's about taking advantage of someone that's a smaller, a lesser, a weaker, a less evolved emotionally maybe or whatever than you. I seen that Jimmy Savile would abuse children that were already disabled just because he knew he could get away with it, because who are they going to tell? How are they going to tell?
That's why there's nothing that can be done other than making sure your child walks home with other people.
Yeah, after school movements has to change. So when I was coming up, schools always encouraged people to walk in groups when you're going home, just for the purposes of staying safe, and like you're safer in bigger groups and you can all see what happened and stuff like that. Also, because now we're in a digital era, because back then there was no phone, you had to run to a phone box and put some money inside there, and your excuse for not coming home was, I didn't have no money to call you on the phone and that's why I'm late, and that was okay. But now you got a phone. I know people like tried to run my phone batteries had died type movement, but now you've got a phone. Please teach your children the shortcuts of how they can contact the emergency services. You can tap your phone 5 times on the side of the phone. That will contact the police, or you can do the emergency contact on your phone and just what was it? Swipe it. And then it gives you either emergency or the police. But teach your children what the emergency stuff is on their phone. That might help. The pedos, they're not normal, regular people.
even when people let their kids have Facebooks and Instagrams, they're able to use that information to learn the kids' routines. Oh, you walk to school this way every day.
I forgot that. People got their kids on the social media.
Then they can meet you at McDonald's. You see, the problem with that is that you shouldn't let your kid have it at a certain age. I think when you literally finish GCSE is when you should get a phone.
Now we're making ourselves so accessible. We don't even know we're advertising our children to the pedos. The pedos, man. You don't want to be doing that. I'm not saying you shouldn't share and you should be shook. I'm saying you should be aware. That's what I'm saying. When you dress them up a certain way, you take certain types of pictures.
Be aware.
That's why some people blur their children's pictures out. That's why you don't see me posting my babies all the time. Because they're too fine. I don't want no one to come and interrupt them. And if they ever did, man would not get arrested. I will cut him into tiny pieces. So what I want to do is to expose to you how social media has used a Jedi mind tricks on you to get you to advertise your own kids to the pedos without you knowing. They've made it so fun that your kids are dancing and inviting. They're burlesquing. They're doing what people go to Amsterdam to see the women do in the shops with the red light district of whatever. Your children are doing that live online for the pedos to watch, and attached to that is information about who they are, where they live, who their friends are, etc, etc. Listen to my daughter break down TikTok and Musically for you. Hit it, Renee.
Well, pretty much anytime you see a trend that someone older is doing, maybe someone who actually is of age, a lot of people who have pages, their fan base is always a lot younger. So fan base would be around maybe 15, 16, ranging all the way down to 11. Because you never have the fan base of people who are your age unless you're like, I think it's probably past 30 that you've become to have the people who are the same age as you. So in your my age and you're doing social media and you're doing trends like dancing in your bikini on TikTok, you're actually influencing kids to do that. And when they do that, you're actually inviting them to let paedophiles look at them in ways that you might not want your child to be looked at. I think it's important personally. Like if I had a kid, I would make sure that I knew exactly what apps they were using, and I wouldn't let them use TikTok because it's been known for a long time that TikTok is a pedo ring, where there have actually been some old men who actually show their faces on there reacting to kids and doing even worse things that we won't go into detail about, but you can only imagine the kind of gross things that they do in reaction to these children's videos. So imagine why people don't like TikTok. If you've ever found someone who's like, I don't use TikTok, I don't like it, you should really do some research into it. I didn't have to even do a lot of research to find that there are a lot of very creepy men on there, and women, a lot of just creepy people, a lot of people who say videos of young girls. There are girls like Danny Con, you can look her up. She's 13 and dances in her bikini and underwear, and she's even advertising for drinks and energy drinks that are not for her age, so she's just an inappropriate kid. Her mum's fine with it. There are people
pimping
like
their children on TikTok.
There are people like this who will also try to influence your child to do the same thing. And because kids are so influenced by social media, they don't want to be like boring. They want to be like everyone else on social media. You have to be very careful what parts of the platform. Not to say that other social medias are perfectly safe. Not saying Facebook or Instagram or YouTube is like, innocent. But TikTok is particularly bad when it comes to influencing little kids to dance inappropriately to inappropriate lyrics, even racial things that I've seen on there. Just generally, these trends are not good. So if your child has TikTok, I would personally have a talk with them, have a look at their TikTok, what they actually watch, because they might be watching stuff that might be inappropriate, and they might know it's inappropriate, and they might feel like, well, this is just what I enjoy. But the problem with it isn't that they're watching it, it's that they might feel influenced to do stuff like that themselves. So
imagine these kids are singing WAP. They're singing Cardi B's tune all about their pom pom, and that's inappropriate. The music don't come with no parental guidance, and you're gonna be TikToking to that. So some of your research showed that TikTok comes from Musically. How did you see that?
Obvious name change, and Musically got shut down just as TikTok started. It was obvious that the same people wanted to do the same thing, but because Musically was actually found out to be a pedo ring and had to be shut down, they just decided to change it to TikTok. Again, something very easily googled. What happened to Musically? Like, why did it shut down? Where's Musically now? It's the same layout. It's the same idea. There's no difference in them. And if it was a thing of Musically shut down and TikTok copied them, there'd be lots of
legal issues.
Exactly, but there isn't, because Musically is TikTok. TikTok is Musically. They always have they've always tried to do something like Vine, which is the original, I think. But Vine was never trying to make people do stuff. Vine was a lot more about going viral, but it wasn't telling you should also do it to go viral. I'm not actually saying that dancing in your swimmer is bad. I'm not saying what she's doing is wrong. I'm saying that other people have access to that video and can wrongly view it. I'm not actually saying that, because I know some people might interpret it as, what's wrong with her doing that? It's just a swimwear, which I agree, there's nothing. But some people are
it's
not.
It's just other people's perception and how they react to
see it wrongly. And if another kid who's younger than her does that, that's even worse. So that's the problem, not what she's actually doing. So because people like her are out there, unfortunately, it means that there's going to be lots of kids copying. That's just,
and because kids are making money from doing it. That's what's encouraging them. That's what's making the parents encourage them, because it's money at the end. So again, I'm asking, when it comes to our integrity and money, people tend to overlook a lot of things for money, and their integrity gets dashed in the bin. And I believe that's how Musically has transpired into TikTok, because there's money to be gained. It pleases the pedos. It allows them to find another place to do advertising. They can collect more data on where everybody else lives and all of that other stuff, and all of that kind of thing. It's just interesting the way that they use technology to Jedi mind tricks you into allowing your kids to advertise themselves to the pedos whilst gaining money. Lots of stuff has been happening online with regards to pedos. We need to shut them down, like, for real, shut them. No TED Talks about mental health. It's not mental health. You can never ever try and tell me it's a mental health. It's a sexual identity that nobody else can identify with, that's very dangerous to our children. What hurts me about the situation is it took them a matter of, like, what, hours was it? Or was it a whole day to catch that dude?
Hours, because I saw the video and they hadn't caught him yet.
It took hours to catch him, because he's really a bottom feeder. He's nothing. He's a nobody scum. But if he had money, like Epstein money, Weinstein money, Jimmy Savile money, Andrew, Prince Drew status, everyone would have allowed him. Everyone would have left him to do what they would have delivered the child to him. So I'm asking people about their integrity versus money and power, because often we turn a blind eye to the real big time, the ones who traffic children, the big ones, the gangster pedos. They got websites, they got protection, they got all types of people in their pockets. We turn a blind eye to that. All of them are scum together. Okay, them dirty rascaliting pedos. Let's use them for test trials. You're test trialing on animals. These are the people you're supposed to be test trialing your vaccines on. Cardi B wouldn't even let her own daughter sing the lyrics to her music. Do you know that? I've seen a clip where the daughter tries to sing it and she stops her own daughter. She said, no, like as if, so you don't want your child to do it, but you're out here giving it for everybody else's child to do it. They said all the rappers, their kids go to private schools while your child goes to prison. So it's time to wake up, man. The celebrities, they're not living your life. This other thing that happens that gets on my last nerves, when they're doing elections, a celebrity ain't living your life. So when they come out there to tell you to vote for somebody, it's only in their own personal favour. They probably own businesses, and that person that's running for election is probably going to cut taxes for big businesses and blah, 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 blah. So when your celebrities out there, you think they're there for you, they're not living your life. They're not there asking for your rent to go down, are they? Asking for them to reduce council tax, are they? Asking for better student loans and grants, are they? No, they're not. They get paid to promote the person. They get paid the equivalent of what they would get to go on tour. They don't care. You Imagine you give me money of what I would earn in a year to go on tour with my favourite promoters to just say that Boris is all right, you lot should vote for him. I could be bought. Again, it comes back to integrity. Integrity. Can I be bought to turn a blind eye while someone is molesting a child? No. You see, my integrity is based on how much does it benefit me and how much does it hurt another thing. Now, if I'm taking money to go and do comedy and do a roast, it breaches on my integrity, but the money probably soothes me and I'm okay with it. I find a way of doing comedy around it, you know what I mean? But if I'm taking money and the dude is a child molester and I'm turning and I know that, no, I'm not doing that because I'm a female and I know what that whole situation and vibe is about, and now my spirit won't allow me to partake. So there's levels to my integrity. That's what I want you to know. And the celebrities, their integrity also, they've got levels to theirs. Usually they move with the people that do that. Some of them have to suck the person's dick in order to get off. Oh, watch the film Hollywood on Netflix. If you watch the film on Netflix, it's called Hollywood. That one shows you how all of them have got to be sexually interrupted in order to get on. You got to suck man's dick to get on. You got to let man fuck you in your ass to get on. You got to do something. You got to do something. So the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, it didn't start with him. He's got predecessors that showed him the way. He didn't just come out of nowhere with his butter self and start doing that. There's people that's been doing that for generations and centuries going back from ever since Hollywood started. You see, your integrity, when you're so thirsty for something, yeah, your integrity gets dried up and you care less and less about your integrity and more about the thing you want. And you're willing to do almost anything for the thing you want. That's why I'm asking people to check their integrity, because when it comes to money and stardom and fame, is it worth it? Now, without escaping from my main point is when people have money and lots of it and popularity or power. Say like if I've got so much money that just by you knowing me, I can employ you and give you money. So therefore you start to like me because now I'm a source of income to you. And now you're protective over me. I mean, you don't want anything to happen to your ATM machine. You know what I'm saying? I become a bank account to you. And you find out that I'm a pedo, you'll be like, nah, leave her, man. It's probably not even true anyway. You get me? Even if I told you some funny, weird pedo jokes, you can be all, she's got a weird sense of humour. You'll be turning your eye so blindly. The only time that you will start to take notice is when I die or if I stop giving you the money. You feel me? That's how it goes. They be using this to manipulate each other. They'll film each other having sex with children just so they can have something over each other. It's a whole circle. It's disgusting. I'm just saying, when it comes to money, people's integrity don't really be there at all. When it comes to money, when they know you're a pedo, they'll be helping you. Look at R. Kelly. Look at that. Like, look at all of the whole Harvey Weinstein, and he's got Oprah as his friend. She was turning a blind eye. She's like, oh, don't worry about that. Let's look at what Michael Jackson was doing. People will just allow you. When you're rich, you could be killing people and burying them under the patio and bathing in their blood. People will allow you as long as they can eat off of you. They don't care. They turn a blind eye to it. Where's our integrity? How quick it took us to catch that guy, and I'm so glad we did it. And I hope that when he goes to jail, they take all his teeth out of his mouth and use him as a cum bucket, okay? Yeah, I hope he gets all of the horriblest, worst treatment. Don't put him in a special unit. That's what they got out here. Special protection, special unit, new identity, new address, a special register. What's all that? Look at how long it took them to catch Epstein. Huh? How can it take so many years to catch somebody and you know what they're doing? Huh? You go further back, you've got Charles Heath, Edward Heath. Some MP, enough MPs are out there doing pedo movements. I'm telling you, they traffic children over to do proper pedo movements. Yeah, there's pedo gangsters out there. This boy was on some small local thing. He's on some burnt rice at the bottom of the pot movement thing. So there was no Stevie Wonder to turn a blind eye because he ain't rich enough for that. He ain't investing in the police force. You get me? So when you're so rich that you can invest in the police force, then they will turn a blind eye and deliver the child to your house like a takeaway, fam. You understand me? So I'm trying to say, we ain't got no integrity out here, so the victim gets nothing. My final words that I'm trying to get out there is that when you have a kid, if you don't love off the kid or reassure the kid when they've been bad after you finish beating them and punishing them, whatever it is you do, reassure your child. If you're quick to throw your child out onto the street because they do something you don't like, yeah? Or you're trying to prove a point. Maybe they're starting to sleep with boys or girls, whatever. You're trying to prove a point. If you think you're this, get out of my house. Once they're out your house, they're there for the pedos. You're showing the child that you don't care. You're done with them. Once you're done with them, they are the same as Pinocchio was when he was out there going to the circus to be turned into an arse. Remember when he got tricked to go into the circus? No protection means the child is fully vulnerable. They could kill your child and throw it into the Thames River. We ain't got time for you to come on the news and go, yeah, and I don't know where he's gone. No. We ain't got time for that. Once you bust your legs open and do what you need to do, take care of your kids. Like I've been saying it when I was doing radio. I've been talking about children and issues like this before. But anyway, I hope I've given you guys something to think about, talk about. You know what I'm saying? It's your girl, Miss Mo Real.